All right, well, I've got 3 targets. Actually, I got 4 targets. Funny thing is I found these with the Manticore to see if the E-trac would pick them up. These two, no problem. This is on an E-trac, kind of a low 34, 35. That one's a little bit higher, 39. They both have potentials. They're only about 4 or 5 inches down. The Manticore showed it at 3 bars, so it could be anywhere from 4 to 6. And the E-trac showed it being about 4 or 5 inches down. Both of those have potentials for being wheat pennies. I have a target over here that the Manticore picked up that was very, very iffy on the Manticore, and I would not dig that with the E-trac. That would be nothing. But these two, repeatable with the E-trac both ways, but there's a catch. I have to go back with the Manticore because the E-trac is saying right here is a potential silver. A nice high tone dime in one direction and then lower in the other direction. So that's the best target of the 3, and the E-trac picked that up. So I have to go back with the Manticore and see if the Manticore can get whatever that is. I know that there was 2 targets. I think this one did have the one. I know I had 2 targets side by side, so that might be it. But anyways, I'm gonna dig these, and then all 3, and then I will come back and let you know what they were. All right, the bad target is a like 7, 8, 9, 10-inch pipe down there, and it looks like it goes across, all the way across. So I'm not saying that the Manticore liked this target. It was repeatable in both directions, but it was very scratchy. And I mean, under normal circumstances, I probably wouldn't have dug that with the Manticore. But I'm looking, this is a park. This is Selwood Park. And I've hit this park so many times. And I've managed to find, maybe 10, 12 silvers here. But there's really not much left to find as far as deep stuff. And they're all iffy. So you have to dig these iffies to find the silver here. So that was an iffy, and it wasn't silver, and it wasn't a good target, but it's part of that learning curve. Let's go try the ones that are repeatable. All right, the next target that I probably would have passed on this one being it was like a 10, 12, 35 on the E-trac, 34, and it was a lid twist off, but it's crushed up. And it was only about 4 inches. All right, on to this one, which this one's more of a middle mid-tone, probably a penny. And the last target wasn't a penny or either, but it was a part of looks like a cleat. All right, well, here's the one that I like with the E-trac. And I'll turn this off so you can hear it. It doesn't sound as good, honestly, on the Manticore as it does the E-trac, in my opinion. Here's if I can hear what this sounds like. See, it's got a double bump. It says it's about 3 bars. Scratchy. There's something else right here though too. I don't know if it's the target that the E-trac found was right in here. Here, let me turn my headphones back on. Let me put the E-trac. Let's see. Hang on a second. I gotta switch everything around here. Hold on. I did put my holder on here. But it's not going to work the way, I don't think it's going to work quite as well as oh wow. Oh. Major major interference. I had to turn the Manticore off. Anyways, I'm gonna mark it with the with a coin, and I do get kind of a double bump. Okay, so I got one target right here. I'm trying to keep my eye on it. Right here. This one sounds good. I think that was probably the, it sounds like a double bump, but it's kind of, another potential spot. I don't know if this is shallow where I'm getting a double bump or not. One or the other. I'll check it with the Manticore again. Sorry, I'm gonna turn you off here for a second. Alright, well, I am getting a double bump. It is actually pinpointing over each one of those on the Manticore. Either one of the, it's like a 65, 66, 76, 84, but they're scratchy. They're this way for sure, 52, and scratchy. All metal. I'm not hearing, actually surprisingly not too much iron. I can let you listen, but there's a lot of people sitting around, so I don't want to. So I'm gonna dig both of those and I'll let you know what they are. Funny thing is I did hear it with the Manticore when I first dug this one. I thought there was no target, but when I hit it with, when I went over with the E-trac, it sounded really nice. This one especially sounded really nice. And here, the Manticore, it doesn't sound near as nice as it does on the E-trac. I mean, if you want to hear what the E-trac sounds like on this target, give me one sec. That is what you want to hear. That is 44, 43, but it's that high fluty sound. It's not silver necessarily. It could be the 44, but if there's iron or something around it, that could be dropping the signal down. But when you hear something like that in the E-trac, your attention is boom. Hear it on the Manticore, it doesn't have the tone. The dang engineers at MindLab, they suck. Let me dig these and see what they are. All right, there's another cleat. And this one I never found anything, but this was like, it was like right here on this edge, and I'm thinking I was getting a double bump because it was pretty shallow. It happens sometimes. Again, I'm just not able to be as comfortable as I'd like to be because there's a lot of people around, and I just hate being a spectator, or not being a spectator, but being the focal point of observation. So I might move. We'll see. All right, so how's the Manticore depth gauge? They say in the book 1 bar is 3 up to 3, 2 bars up to 5, 3 bars up to 7. So I just had a 2 to 3 bar target, and literally it is only 2 inches down. It was coming in like I was guessing this was going to be a penny. 77, 76. It is a penny, but only a couple inches down versus what the meter says, which is kind of bogus because I've had that happen a couple times already, and I'm not sure how I'm liking the depth gauge. I just need to find some place with some better targets. I really haven't. I mean, literally haven't found a good place to hunt. I think I'm just going to have to go to a school that's, I always like to go places that are pre-63, 60, 61, 62, pre-6 that's, using 64 is like a little too new for me, but yeah, maybe I just have to go to a newer school and just start, picking up coins and just getting my ear tuned to that, which is probably a good idea. But still, depth gauge. This was scratchy, and it just kind of sucked. And I really, honestly, so far, I really don't like the Manticore's tones. I just can't, I don't know, can't stand it. I'm gonna try. I'm bouncing between general, the 5-tone, and the beach 5-tone, because I got them set up a little differently. I got one in the 5-tone horizontal, and then the beach one is set up with the regional diagonal, but I also check it with the all metal, and the all metal is just pathetic because, not the all metal, but the one tone all region is pretty sad because the top end isn't high enough pitch wise. It drops off too steep for how it should be. And yeah, so right now I'm not liking the Manticore. I still got to get used to it. And I could adjust everything, like Hap was saying. I forgot who it was on YouTube, but he just adjusts everything from like 99 all the way over to 61, pitch 50. And I was like, I don't want to dig a bunch of pennies because that's what's going to make me stop. But he just said, well, if you come across the high tone, just look down and see what the number is and go from there. I could do that, but it's just, you shouldn't have to do that. And I think people are doing it because the tones suck. They've always sucked after the E-trac. So anyways, yeah, depth gauge. How are you guys finding the depth gauge to be true and accurate? 1 bar 0 to 3, 2 bars 3 to 5, 3 bars 5 to 7. Are you finding it to be true? All right, well, I got a couple hours maybe before rain hits again, and I'm at an old school where I've managed to find maybe 4 silvers here. Very few wheats. Just thought I would give it another swing through. So far haven't had much luck. I've pulled 3 nails out of iffy targets, where you get a good tone one way and then it's scratchy the next. It's hard with this because I still have to learn it, because with the E-trac, if I got a good tone in one direction and I pinpointed and turned and then I released it, that would make all the difference. And unfortunately, this guy, I'm still getting, maybe it's because of the recovery speed or what, but it does have some iron. It's really sensitive to iron, but I still hear a little bit coming through sometimes on that way, so I dig it and it's iron. This was one that I got kind of frustrated with because I dug down and it was giving me, some good tones in both direction. Dug down, I got 2 pieces of iron, and then I put the plug back in, went over it, and I still had that little tone in there, and so I dug back in. It was actually in the plug. It was a very small, only a couple inches down, but it's some part of a pin, some sort of little lapel pin. Oops, I just broke off the needle there, or the pin itself. And I don't even know if this is the whole pin, and I don't even know what it represents. So anyways, that was pretty good. I thought this was going to be deeper. I have to learn the tone and get my ear to train to the depth, because this sounded a lot deeper, and of course it was picking up, I think, on the iron because it was pegging way deep. But anyways, I'll take this. All right, I've got a wheat and possibly a second wheat, which is pretty cool. Oh wait, oh, I thought that was a coin. That's just the indentation, all the patinas rubbed off on it. So a single wheatie. So this is what I need to I heard this coin. It sounded better than iron. So I need to start my hear training on coins. And so this is impressive because this is an area that I actually really went through with the E-trac really well, because right down here about where that red truck is, that's where I found there was a group of like 3 silvers, and I found wheat pennies along this fence and through here, and another silver just right out here. So I really hunted this area pretty good with E-trac. So these are the things that I'm hoping will slowly, I'll slowly start to pick out. And just so you know, I'm hunting in beach general, and I have my favorite as all terrain. So all terrain right now, I have it set up in the 5-tone, but I have set up with a really long, like really high pitch 50, from 99 all the way over to like, I don't know, 60, 65, 61. And so I can bounce back and forth between the two. But anyways, I have the beach set up in the 5-tone regional, and I have it set up with a high curve so that I'm hearing a lot of high pitch on the top. But everything is fluent. There's no gaps or drops in the graph, so everything's connected together. And I'm hunting in recovery speed 5, and I am hunting in all metal. So I am, and I have my iron volume set to 3. So I'm using the iron grunting as my threshold noise. And so I'm kind of walking through, and as soon as I hear a high pitch or a little high tone or a tone, then I can go back over it. I can put the discrimination back on and listen to it with the discrimination on and take it off, and then hear the iron with it too, just a little bit. So this one sounded better. I'm glad it was a coin and not a nail. I'm gonna keep going. Well, what'd they say? I'm going down here swinging about 5 feet, 6 feet off of this fence, because this is where those silvers were. I caught a tone. Now this was iffy. I was really concerned that this was going to be nail. And I think it's little pewter something, potentially, I don't know. But oh, it's a pin. It's another pin. Boy, I'm finding the pins today. Well, it's nice and shiny, but I doubt that silver being, I don't know, pewter. Looks like it's a couple dogs. And that was down 7 inches from the top of down to the tip of the, so that was down 7 inches, and that's something I missed with the E-trac. That was a very iffy signal, but it was repeatable. There is some garbage. I noticed there's something right over here close to this. And I'm also hunting in about 26 sensitivity. I was doing 27, but bouncing around a little bit. It's pretty stable. And but yeah. All right, well that's a plus right there. I'm hoping that my complaints about this will, the good finds, the finds that I've missed, will outweigh the complaints, because that's the only way that this is going to work. And if I'm finding stuff, I know you have to find stuff in the places that you've hit, and you know for sure that you did really well. And I know that this is the place that I came back to and hunted this little area really well, because I got a quarter and 2 dimes, I think, right here, and silver, and one about 30 feet off it, right straight out. So, and then, surprisingly, that half of the field way down there, nothing. I mean, I don't even know if I got a wheat penny at that end of the field. So hopefully I got enough time to meander down there and see if I could pick up anything that was missed. But this is pretty shiny for, I'm still thinking it's pewter, but wow, look at that back for being in the ground for a while. 7 inches. Cool. All right, we're gonna try a live dig. Got a one of the things that I'm gonna detune my pinpointer over here. So I want you to hear. This isn't good. That's with like all metal, but I have the ferrous blocked out a little bit. Now it sounds so much better out here. That's showing all the way over with a little dot up in the corner though. Little dot up in the corner. But give me a 97, 98 with the red bar. And I turn 90 degrees. Scratchy, 68, 75, 82. The line's going over curving up, and there's a little bit painting in the middle. Always in the middle top. Usually nails right there, that top middle. I'm going to put the discrimination on. I'm going to pinpoint it. I'm going to be 5, 74, 93. And according to this, I'm not getting any of the iron anymore. It's all over here after I pinpoint it. So let's see what it is. Be right there, right? Okay. Now let's dig this. Let's see what we got. I don't necessarily like this tone. There's a lot of scratchiness. I mean, you can't hear it on the speaker. Headphones, it's a lot more scratchy. But, and I do find that the Manticore does, unfortunately, it does make the iron sound good. And I'm trying to learn, because I don't have a lot of knowledge with the ferrous limits and blocking out the ferrous. So I tried doing a no ferrous and then all metal. Of course, that doesn't work at all. So I think there's something right here. Yeah. Now, the way I can tell something's right here, because you can see the soil is different right here. You can always tell sometimes. It's like I call it the Easter egg. And not as deep as I was hoping, because it showed that it was 4 bars, and we're only about 6 inches. Yeah, probably 6 inches to the target, maybe less. So, you know, what do we have in our Easter egg cluster? Oh, it's not there yet. Where's it at? So the numbers were high. And the disappointment is I'm finding that these, see that right there? I'm finding that we're getting these high numbers. It's a penny, yeah. Hey, it's a wheat cent. Sweet. That's better than a penny, right? But I'm finding all of my pennies are coming up high. Yeah, like silver dime quarter high. You know, it's pretty sad. There's not much of a, they give you 100 ID segments, and there isn't a whole lot of really separation. I mean, I know that my numbers for a coin will bounce. Now if I were to run that over my coil right now, oh, I just lost my headphones, I think. See, I get a 75.76 for that wheat penny. Right, 75.76 for the wheat penny. I'm gonna look at my little cheat sheet I wrote, but I haven't been looking at it. Wheat penny, 69 in beach, 69.72. So 69.72, and I'm getting a 72, 71. It's bouncing, but it's going up there high, 77.86. Way too sporadic. I think the Manticore, it might be the coil. I keep complaining about this coil, but it doesn't lock in good enough for me on the targets. There's a lot of numbers, and so it bounces a lot. I mean, the E-trac had 50 conductive, Knox I think had 50, right? So I don't know. There's probably a lot more play, bounce maybe in a couple of numbers, but this really goes a long way. So you really almost don't know what you're getting. But I've been finding a lot of my pennies coming up. I get kind of excited, look at the depth, and I get excited, and then here I am, I get a penny, a wheat penny, but you know, how am I ever gonna, you know, it's like I want this to tell me what I'm digging. That's the whole point of having this whole screen, ID numbers, all of this information, is that you get an idea of what you're digging. If it was simply just dig everything, then you wouldn't even need the screen. You wouldn't need the 2D. You wouldn't need the mask, the tracing. You wouldn't need any of that. All you would simply need is something that beeped, and you just have to memorize what the tone was, and you just dig it. But since we go through all the trouble of talking about all of this technology that we're given, it should be better. But I'll take that penny, a wheat penny. Take it. Well, I can't videotape them all, but I would have liked to have videotaped this one. This one sounded very bad. I mean, very bad. And the reason why is that something was sitting right next to that penny, and it was this little ball. It's a little ball of metal. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a piece of lead or what, shot or what, but it's just this little metal ball, and it literally was right there. And I found it rolled down. I got it out, and there was more metal. So I thought, well, maybe it's I don't know, maybe it was a whole bunch of these in there. And then that flipped out. So only about 4 inches, 5 inches down, very scratchy in both directions. So this is gonna be hard. It's gonna be really hard, because same signals, like same kind of tones that I've gotten pretty much in the past, ones that I thought might be okay, were nails. This one, I took a chance on it, and it was there. I mean, I heard the tone, but yeah, it was just a little iffy. I guess I'm gonna have to get used to it, but I got a nice greeny 1 center. See if I can get a date on that. I don't know how old the school is that I'm at right now. I think the school we're at right now is early 1900s. So yeah, I'll take it. But looks like maybe what, 40s on the greenie. Not that old, 42. All right, well, that's good. I missed this with the E-trac, and it's because of that little metal ball, and probably just said, nah, don't dig it. But yeah, I dug it. Got it. Okay. I almost walked away from this one, and you know, putting my probe in the hole, I'm not hearing anything else, and not seeing anything else in the probe like close to this target. It looks like a greenie on edge. Well, not on edge, slope, diagonal. Not very far down, only about 5 inches from the top. And this was giving me the smallest and scratchiest tone. I just like literally almost walked away from it, but you know, I'm learning. I am learning. It's a greenie, and this greenie. What's this greenie come up low? It's coming up. Let's see, a little bit lower tone. 63, 62, which is where I have, I think my little cheat sheet says, the greenies. I have 55 to 59. So this was coming in a little between that. So this old cheat sheet doesn't really work because you use those little cheat sheets for air test, and when they're in the ground, it's a whole nother story. So I don't know if I can get a date off this guy, but I don't have my glasses and I don't have my magnifying glass. So anyways, nice, I'll take it, but I am learning, and it is finding things that the E-trac missed. So we'll have to wait and see how that pans out over time. Well, I'm up at the front part of the school. Actually, it's 1938, so it's not as old as I thought it was, but 1938 is pretty good. Walking around the front side, which I've done before in the past, but this one was bad. I swear this was going to be a bad target, and then when it started to be in the side, I thought it was going to be bad, but I actually got something good. But it wasn't the side of my target. It's not a coin that I know of. It looks like some sort of token. $50 size. And not sure what I got. Oh, it says Ford. I've never had one of these before. Almost looks like a Masonic. Oh, V8. What is that? Does that say 30 years of progress? V8. Huh. So I don't think it has a date on it. You're just supposed to guess what 30 years. Yeah. Well, that's something new to me. Oh, maybe there's a date right there. Oh yeah, there's some dates. Looks like 1903 to 1930. Well, this is going to date this little token. 1933. 30 years. Cool. Well, that's pretty cool. That was a really iffy, very iffy. It wasn't coming in super strong either. So, yeah. But again, I look at it this way. It's something that I missed with the E-trac. So I would have gone over this with the E-trac and maybe it wasn't good enough, but it wasn't very good with this, but I dug it and I got rewarded. So like again said, time will tell, learning curve will progress. Yep, it's time to stop. Got some pretty good size hail in there, but nothing like you guys in the south, man. Woo-wee. Little 1/4 inch babies.